The 6 Paramitas, perfections on the path to enlightenment introduction within the vast treasury of Buddhist teachings. The 6 Paramitas, often translated as the 6 perfections, stand as central guiding principles for those who aspire to the Bodhisattva ideal. Rooted in the Mahayana tradition, these perfections represent not merely ethical virtues, but transformative practices that shape both the inner character and the outward conduct of a practitioner. They are considered essential tools for transcending self-centeredness, cultivating compassion and wisdom, and progressing toward ultimate enlightenment. The Sanskrit word paramita carries nuanced meanings: perfection, transcendence, or going beyond to the other shore. This metaphor reflects the spiritual journey from the shore of delusion, ignorance, and suffering to the opposite shore of liberation and awakening. Thus, to practice the 6 Paramitas is to enact the Bodhisattva's vow of working tirelessly not just for one's own enlightenment, but also for the liberation of all sentient beings. The 6 perfections are De, Napi, Ramit, generosity; Allah, Paramita, morality or ethical discipline; Jayanti, Pramit, patience or forbearance; Vriya, Paramita, energy or diligence; Dhyana, Paramita, meditation or concentration; Prajna, Paramita, wisdom. Each of these virtues addresses a particular dimension of spiritual development, yet together they weave a holistic framework for advancing along the Bodhisattva path. In what follows, we will explore each perfection in depth, its philosophical grounding, its practical application, and its transformative potential on the journey to enlightenment. 1. DNA. Paramita, the perfection of generosity. DNA is considered the foundation of the Bodhisattva path. It is not limited to material giving, but encompasses 3 dimensions: material generosity, sharing wealth, food, shelter, or any resources with those in need; generosity of protection, offering safety, support, and freedom from fear; generosity of Dharma, sharing spiritual teachings and guidance. In Mahayana, the most exalted form of giving is the transmission of Dharma, for it helps beings transcend ignorance and attain liberation. However, the act of generosity must be infused with emptiness, nayat insight. True giving is performed without attachment to the gift, the giver, or the recipient. This is called the threefold purity of giving: no clinging to self, others, or possessions. Practicing generosity cultivates selflessness, breaks attachment to material possessions, and expands compassion. It represents the first perfection, because it opens the heart, establishing the Bodhisattva in the habit of giving freely for the welfare of others. Tukula, Paramita, the perfection of morality. The 2nd perfection is ethical conduct, or moral discipline, or la. Morality in Buddhism is not imposed externally, but arises naturally from compassion and awareness of interdependence. It involves refraining from harmful actions and cultivating wholesome behavior that supports both personal development and collective harmony. Allah Paramita rests upon the 5 precepts for lay practitioners abstaining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, false speech, and intoxicants, and expands into the Bodhisattva vows, which emphasize altruism, compassion, and working for the benefit of all beings. For the Bodhisattva, morality goes beyond self-restraint. It becomes active engagement in protecting others, supporting justice, and promoting peace. Ethical discipline provides a stable foundation for meditation and wisdom. It protects the mind from agitation and remorse, allowing deeper concentration and insight. Ultimately, Allah Pramita is not a rigid adherence to rules, but the living expression of compassion and mindfulness in every action. Dand San Kjayanti Pramita. The perfection of patience. Patience Kjayanti is often described as the capacity to endure difficulties without anger or resentment. It is indispensable for the Bodhisattva, who vows to remain engaged with beings despite their ignorance, hostility, or indifference. Buddhist texts distinguish three types of patience: patience in facing harm from others, enduring insults, abuse, or injury with equanimity rather than retaliation; patience in accepting suffering, facing illness, loss, or hardship with courage and resilience; patience in accepting truth, tolerating the difficulty of profound Dharma teachings that may initially challenge or unsettle the mind. Patience is not passive resignation, but active strength. It transforms anger into compassion and adversity into opportunity for growth. For the Bodhisattva, Kjayanti Pramita is crucial because the path requires immense perseverance in the face of misunderstanding, ridicule, or even persecution. Through patience, the Bodhisattva cultivates an unshakable mind that remains stable amidst turbulence, embodying the compassion and equanimity necessary to guide others for Vriya Pramita. The perfection of energy. The fourth perfection, Vriya, is often translated as energy, diligence, or heroic effort. It is the driving force that sustains all other perfections. Without energy, generosity becomes inconsistent, morality becomes weak, and meditation lapses into laziness. Vriya Pramita entails cultivating joyful perseverance in wholesome actions and avoiding indolence, distraction, and discouragement. The Bodhisattva harnesses energy for both personal practice and altruistic service, tirelessly working for the welfare of others. Mobiana texts emphasize that true energy must be balanced. It is not mere busyness or restless striving, but focused, skillful, and joyful engagement in the Dharma. The Bodhisattva's energy flows from great compassion and the aspiration for enlightenment, giving it inexhaustible momentum. By practicing Vriya Pramita, practitioners transform ordinary willpower into transcendent vitality, sustaining their journey across countless lifetimes for the sake of all beings. Kalima the Napi Ramit. The perfection of meditation. Meditation dhyana is the fifth perfection and the cornerstone of Buddhist practice. Through meditation, the Bodhisattva develops concentration, samadhi, clarity, and inner tranquility. These qualities are essential for penetrating the deeper truths of existence. The cultivation of meditation allows practitioners to transcend mental agitation, cultivate mindfulness, and stabilize the mind. In Mabhiyana, meditation is not solely for personal peace, but is directed toward enhancing compassion and insight for the benefit of others. Different meditative practices support dhyana pramita, mindfulness of breathing, cultivation of love, method, visualization of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and insight into emptiness. Each method purifies the mind of distraction and affliction, opening the way for the highest perfection. Wisdom. Meditation provides direct experiential realization of the Dharma. It moves knowledge from intellectual understanding to embodied insight, transforming the practitioner's entire being. Point 6. Pramita, the perfection of wisdom. The final perfection is praj, often translated as transcendent wisdom. In Mabhiyana, praj is inseparable from the insight into emptiness, niyat. It is the wisdom that perceives the true nature of reality, free from dualistic conceptions of self and other, existence and non-existence. Praj is the crown of the perfections, for without wisdom, generosity may reinforce ego, morality may become rigid, patience may collapse under strain, energy may be misdirected, and meditation may fall into complacency. Wisdom illuminates and integrates all other virtues at the highest level. Paramita realizes that all phenomena are empty of inherent existence, yet interdependent in arising. This insight dissolves clinging, aversion, and delusion, liberating the mind from samsara. The Mabhyena Paramitas cross, such as the Heart Sutra and Diamond Sutra, emphasize that wisdom must be united with compassion. A bodhisattva does not seek wisdom for personal liberation alone, but harnesses it to liberate all beings. The interdependence of the 6 Paramitas described individually, the 6 perfections are deeply interwoven. Generosity without wisdom may lead to attachment. Wisdom without compassion may become cold intellectualism. Each perfection reinforces and balances the others, creating a comprehensive path of transformation. For instance, generosity cultivates selflessness, morality provides ethical stability, patience prevents anger from derailing progress, energy sustains long-term practice, meditation stabilizes and deepens the mind, wisdom crowns the path with liberating insight. Together, they form a holistic method for the bodhisattva to progress toward Buddhahood, embodying both compassion and wisdom in perfect balance. Conclusion: the 6 Paramitas are not abstract ideals, but practical, lived realities for those committed to the bodhisattva path. They represent the transformation of ordinary human qualities, giving, ethics, tolerance, effort, meditation, and understanding, into transcendent virtues that carry the practitioner to the other shore of enlightenment. By cultivating these perfections, the bodhisattva transcends self-centeredness and becomes a vehicle of compassion and wisdom for the liberation of all beings. Each perfection is both a goal and a method. Generosity both expresses and develops compassion. Meditation both reflects and deepens wisdom. Ultimately, the 6 perfections encapsulate the essence of Mabhyena Buddhism, the union of compassion and wisdom in the tireless pursuit of universal liberation. They show that enlightenment is not a solitary escape, but a profound engagement with the world, where the bodhisattva, through practicing the perfections, guides all beings toward awakening.